There you go, recording in progress. So, hello everybody. Thank you, Agnes, for doing this for us all. It's always wonderful to watch a tutorial and do it at the same time. I think I'm gonna follow whatever you do. And everybody is welcome to do the same. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So thank you again, and your floor, Agnes.
Okay. Awesome. Let me make this big. Okay, good. Okay, so if you guys want to like just chime in at any time if you have any questions or anything that you want to share as far as the makeup goes, just go ahead and unmute yourself and feel free to interrupt me as we go. I'm going to show you a full makeup look. And first of all, very important, make sure you do your skincare, right? I've already washed my face. I applied toner. So the cleaner that I'm really loving right now is the Bloom line. And it comes with the soap and then these micas, which you can see like how shiny and sparkly that is. That's a mineral that's sourced from the ground that just has a natural sheen like that. So when we apply it to our skin, it gives our skin a really nice brightened look. And then, but before I apply the micas, I always use my Art toner. Okay, don't skip the Art toner because the toner helps to level out the pH levels of your skin, which is very important. And then the moisturizer, this is the Bloom moisturizer.
Don't put it so far, so close to the camera. There you go. That's better.
I feel like my light is just reflecting off of everything. Okay. I also do love the Art moisturizer because my skin is on the drier side. So I do like this Art Intensive moisturizer. This is going to be a heavier moisturizer, a thicker moisturizer. So if you have drier skin, this will work really well. If you have more oily skin, I would go with the Art, the light moisturizer, right? So after that, after all that, we're still going to do one more step, and that is the primer. So you're either going to use your mattifying primer if you have oily skin, or you're going to use your hydrating primer if you have drier skin. Now, the purpose of the primer, you don't have to necessarily put it across your entire face, but you want to make sure you're putting it especially where you see pores. So where you see larger pores and where you see maybe a fine line, this is where you're going to tap in the primer. And whatever's kind of left over on your fingers, you're just going to tap it in to the rest of your skin. So what the primer does for you is, number one, it helps your makeup to stay on longer. It actually binds the makeup. The other thing that it does is it diminishes the appearance of your fine lines and your pores. And over time, you will just find that your skin starts to look better, more nourished, and your makeup just wears better when you use the primer. Okay, did you have your primer? Kate?
I did not put my primer on today.
Okay.
But I do have both, and I like the moisturizing better, although my skin tends to be more oily, and I still don't like the other one. So I still use the moisturizing one.
Okay.
But you are correct and right. Yes, the makeup actually stays on longer. And sometimes people say, well, why would you put so much product on? Actually, you're putting so little product on, it's unbelievable. And if you ask any painter, when they paint their house or anything they paint, first, what do? Primer.
Prime. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to go live on my page, but that wasn't working. Okay, so we'll just X this out. Okay. So after all of that, you're all ready to go, and you can see how hydrated and nice and glowy my skin is from all of that. Now I'm going to take one of my beloved concealers. This is your best friend, this concealer. Now, if you feel like the concealer ages you, or it's settling in under your eyes, or it just looks cakey or it doesn't look nice, that means that you're using too much. So this is how I'm using my concealer. I have the medium one, I have the light 2 and the medium 1. I can really use both interchangeably. I like the medium 1 more in the summertime. So I take the wand and I literally wipe off, scrape off the product right back into the tube. And now I'm just dabbing corners of the eyes and the inner corners of the eyes. Okay, don't put any more right under here because you really, this is really like a place on your face that likes to wrinkle. So you don't want to accentuate that. So don't put any product there. I do put some on my eyelids just because my eyelids have a little bit of darker pigment. So I do like to have a little bit there on my eyelids. It also works as a nice primer for your eyeshadow. And then I'll put a little bit right there. Hoping that this, I feel like this light is just, is that better?
It looks good.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I am putting a little bit right there, under the nose a little bit. So wherever you have a little blotch, wherever you have a little pimple or a little bit redness. See, and I barely have any left really on my wand. And that's all really that you need, because if you need more, it's better to layer on afterwards than to put too much. So now I have my blending brush or my blender, my sponge blender.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
The older we get, or the more wiser we get, we do have the creases right there, especially if we smile, but it really comes with age, either we want to admit or not. So I really put that in here, just a little dot. And what you are doing with your sponge, I do the same thing, except I go upward. And that actually really lifts the face up, like visibly.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime you're going with, you always want to do an upward motion, straight in, never down, never pull down, always go up or just straight in. And I do like to moisten or wet this little blender a little bit before I use it so that it doesn't absorb all the product into the sponge.
Is that the trick?
Face. Yeah, I think it keeps more product on my face, and also it just it blends nicer. It makes the sponge softer. So I do like to wet it a little bit. Okay,
so you know, the rest of you, I don't do that. I use it dry, and I didn't find that is hindering my makeup in any way. So both ways are wonderful, and find your own, whatever works for you.
Yes, and also there is another applicator that is designed for concealer, and it looks like this. It's a flat brush, and you can also use this to blend in your concealer. Okay, if you don't have the liquid concealer, you can use one of the mineral powder foundations and dip in this brush here, this concealer brush. You can dip that in and you can use that as a concealer. And that also conceals very well. And again, you want to layer. So don't put too much product right away. Just put a tiny amount, blend it in. And then if you feel like you need more, you can layer on a little more. Okay, so after my concealer, we're going to go in with foundation. I'm going to use a liquid foundation. This is the sand beige color that I use. I do also like the caramel for summertime. You can mix foundations. I've always mixed foundations in the past. I still like to, because your skin tone is always changing with the seasons. So it's always nice to have at least 2 colors so that you can go lighter and darker, or you can mix. But also what you need to remember is that with the Savvy foundations, they are extremely forgiving, and they are almost translucent in the way that they just pick up on your natural pigments. So they do give you good coverage, but they pick up your pigments. So you could probably get away with 2, 3, maybe even 4 colors, and they will all work for you. We do have charts, and I'll post them again in the group, but we have charts that show which foundation will work best for which undertones, whether you have cool or warm or neutral undertones. I'll post those again. And we always do help color match too. If you send us a selfie, we will help color match you and get you the right foundation. Yeah, so you have the other liquid foundation brush. I still have the original foundation brush, which looks like this. And either one will work. And you can use your fingers too. I do love the brushes. I used to use my fingers when applying foundation because it was easy, but we have a lot of oils and dirt in our fingers, and it's just nice to use the brush so that you're not putting any extra oils or any extra dirt that can clog your pores. Also, it keeps your hands clean. So you can put your foundation on like this and you're out the door. Okay, if you're applying with your fingers, then if you touch your shirt, you touch something, you can make a big mess. I've done it before. So I'm just tapping in, and I just used one pump. One pump of foundation is plenty. I don't think you need more, but just kind of tap it in. And if you kind of press it in with the brush, it will stay on longer. Okay, so pressing and kind of like an upward motion, like you said, upward is always good.
Annette says that she is using her fingers. Does this also go for the makeup, or is it just for the concealer, Annette? If you could specify that, that would be good.
Yeah, and feel free to unmute if you want to unmute. Or are they able to unmute or no?
They are able to, you are all able to unmute yourself. And I would like to do a little experiment, and I hope you are gonna see this by what I'm doing here. But I want to show you the difference. I just have to clean the mirror here. The mirror is not so good. I might have to clean the mirror before I do the experiment. I should have known better before we even started, but I want to show you the difference, okay? And I never realized that there is a difference, okay? Do you see the mirror?
Yes. Oh, it's kind of blurring. It's blurring with the blur background.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's see if I can actually do this, because I want to show you this experiment. Maybe I'm gonna post a picture so you will see it. Like, I'm gonna put a dot of the makeup on my finger and put over the mirror, because this is the best way you will see, if you can see it. Can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see that it's like not even toned, like it's not evenly going over?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna use the brush, and I will post a picture of that so you will see that, ladies. And I'm just gonna use a little bit, just a nudge, to show you. And now I will show you how evenly that actually goes over. That you are not gonna see, well, I'll have to put more on. But I want to show you, if you actually see it, it probably doesn't show. How about now? Does it show?
Yeah.
So on the bottom, you have the brush, and it's so even. And on the top, you have the finger, and you can see definitely spots. That convinced me to use the brush because it's just covering me more evenly. So that means I'm using less product. Believe it or not, we are actually using less product by doing this, just the brush. And I'm using my phone to do my makeup. That's the best mirror. So just the brush, it goes more evenly, and probably because of the lines we have in our fingers, but just less product and more even coverage. So I just figured it's worth it.
Yeah, I do like using the brush. I think it's personal preference, but definitely, if you're using the powder foundations, you definitely need the brush, because if you don't use this type of foundation brush with these powder foundations, if you just use a regular like blush brush, you will go through so much powder and you will waste a lot of it. So if you're going to use the powder foundation, you definitely want the brush. If you're going to use the liquid foundation, I do recommend the brush, but it's not necessarily, you know, you don't have to. Okay, after, and I don't always do this step, but I'm gonna just do it now since we're doing a full face.
And that says she's using the brush. So good, thank you for the answer.
I don't always do this step, but I'm gonna do it pretending that I'm like going to a wedding or something really fancy, like for evening makeup. I would do an extra step after my foundation. And when Kate was talking, I was applying a little bit more, another layer of concealer, just because I saw a little bit more of my dark spots coming through. So I did put a little bit more concealer. And now I'm going to take a little bit of Cool number 2. And I am going to set my foundation with this. Okay. So
Agnes, there are questions. So Carol is asking if we put the foundation on the brush. I do, just a pump. And Annette says she doesn't apply it to the brush. So do you apply it to the hand? Where do you apply it then?
So I put my foundation right here.
Oh, you do?
I squeeze the pump right there. And then I picked it up with the brush. That's how I apply. I
actually do it right on the brush. And it actually stays on the brush nicely. And then just do it that way. So this is another way of doing things. Oh, Annette is doing it with us.
Doing her makeup.
Okay, great. We are gonna look wonderful for bed.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I'm setting. Now you can set your foundation either with the mineral foundation, like a cool or warm number 2, or you could use another product that is called, and where did it go? Here it is. It's called Mineral Veil, and you can use the matte Mineral Veil if you have, again, oily skin, or you can use the Diamond Dust Mineral Veil if you have drier skin. And this is nice. I actually use that as a finishing powder, but you could use it as a setting powder, okay, after this step. Okay, so I'm all done with that, and now we're gonna go and do just a little contour. We're not gonna do a very fancy contour, but just very, very basic. I'm going to use a bronzer, and the bronzer that I like is Summer Loved. There are 2 bronzers. Summer Loved is darker, Crowned All Over is lighter, not as dark, not as brown. If you don't want any shimmer to your face, if you don't want any shimmer to your contour, I recommend using the darks. Dark number 4, dark number 3, dark number 2. They work very well for contouring because they're matte and they are skin toned, and it's just like a bronzer, a really nice bronzer. But I'm gonna use Summer Loved. And I'm
using this brush, the bronzer brush?
Yes, so you can use your bronzer brush, which has a little bit of an angle like that.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna put a little bit across like the hairline right here.
See, I use the color 10 because I'm so dark. So I actually use the color 10.
Eyeshadow.
I actually use the eyeshadow for contouring lately, and I love it.
Great.
Because I'm much darker than you guys. So somebody with darker skin and complexion, the other ones don't show as much.
Yeah.
So I love the 10 one.
I do like that one too, because that one's got a little bit of a warmer tone. So the dark 1, 2, 3, and 4 are more of a cooler tone, meaning good for like blondes and light colored skin. The one you're using, that tan, it's got a nice warm undertone. So really great for brunettes. And if you like more caramel colors. So if you like to wear more like whites and pinks and blacks, you might like, and grays, you might like cool colors that are labeled as cool. But if you prefer to wear more like greens and blues and browns and like burgundies, like if that's more your color palette, like in your closet, then you will be probably liking the warm colors more.
I would like to point, and that's great pointers, Agnes, that when I'm getting, and I'm using dark too for my contouring, I am actually just opening it up and there's plenty of it right on the lid. So I'm just holding my lid and just touching a little bit, and that's plenty for me.
Yep, you just need a little bit. So after I go here around the hairline, this is where I put it next. So if you squeeze in your cheeks, you have like this hole right here, but you're not going to apply product in that hole because that'll just make you look like, you're going to apply it just above that, just above where your face naturally will go in. Okay, and that will give you a nice cheekbone. And you don't want to go too far. You just want to go a little bit. I probably already went too far because it's kind of.
I didn't know that. I always do it here.
Yeah, you want to go just above that. It'll seem like it's too high, like right. You see, like right where my hair is,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where my bone is.
I feel clownish that way.
So it might depend on your, again, everyone's shape of their face is a little different. My face is longer, so, you know, this works for me. If a little lower works better for you and that gives you more of a cheekbone, then, you know, you have to play. You have to play and play with your placement and take a picture and kind of see. And I like to use my blush, or sorry, my foundation brush, and just kind of blend it in a little bit if it looks like it's too much, okay?
Or
So
the blend, or the big brush,
right,
or the foundation, the veil brush, really.
Yeah, the veil brush is nice for blending as well. And then you can go a little bit along your, here, along your jawline. And here, I like to apply a little bit here too, because this part of my neck always seems to be more pale compared to the rest of my body and my face. Okay, so that's it for bronzer. And now we're gonna take a blush. I'm going to use, I don't know. I love all the blushes. We have a lot of pinks and rusty pinks, and we have some more orangey tones, but they're all very, very nice. They're all unique. I use them interchangeably. I love them all. Let's see, Smashing is a really nice one. Smashing is kind of like it's like a neutral pink. Ugh. Can't win with this light. You see that?
Very good. Yes, it's showing.
It's like a nice neutral pink. It shows up really well on most skin tones. And use a different brush. Don't use the same brush that you used for bronzer. Okay, use a blush brush. And if you don't have a contour brush, then use a different blush brush for your contour, but try not to mix your brushes. It'll help to keep your colors looking better on your face. Also, especially when you're applying eyeshadow, try not to use your eyeshadow brush that you're putting into a light color and then put it into a dark color. Always have two, one for dark, one for light. Okay, and then with the blush, we're gonna go up here above where the contour went. And this seems really high where I'm putting it, but I don't know if you follow any of the makeup trends. Right now, I'm always watching YouTube videos and just following like what's trending in the world of makeup. And this is where it's at. Your blush is supposed to go right up here. This is also supposed to lift, give you a little like lifted look.
Actually, it does.
Yeah. Because I used to put my blush down here.
You put it where you're supposed to have the contour.
But now I put it there. Yeah.
I would like to say that I love using the palettes that Young Living came up with.
Yeah.
They are wonderful. And the one that I'm using right now is Sahara Sunset. And I am using Elite, which is like really, I don't know, peachy,
it's like
really.
orangey peachy.
Orangey peachy. And I use that, not for the eyeshadow, but for the cheek color. And it looks really good.
So I love the eyeshadow palettes. And yes, every one of these eyeshadow palettes, there's 4 of them. Every one of them has 4 colors, and every one of them has a color that you can use on your cheeks. So for example, the one that is called Royal Winter, this purple right here, it's like a rosy purple. I use that on my cheeks. The one that is called Natural Quartz, is that the one you just said?
No.
Okay, Natural Quartz has this
Sunset.
peachy one here.
Yes.
Really pretty on your cheeks. This one, this is the brand new one called Golden Hour. Pretty on your cheeks right there.
It's my daily palette. I use this every single day.
Which one, Horizon or
The
that?
Golden Hour, I love it.
Yes, but which one are you using on your cheek?
On my cheek, I use this one, this one right
Horizon.
here.
Horizon.
Yes. Yeah. If I don't use tan, I use this one. I love it.
Very nice.
Yeah, and this is the Sahara Sunset, and that's mine's broken. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow about how to fix this, because you can fix these broken palettes easily with a little toner.
Yeah.
But this this I use on my cheeks quite a bit. So the palettes are awesome because, especially for travel, you don't want to take all of this makeup with you. Just grab one eyeshadow palette that you want, and you can, there will be something in there that you can use on your face, your cheeks, your eyes, everything.
Yep.
Yeah, they're very, very nice. Okay, so let's go into, okay, so before we move to eyes, some people like to do their eyes first. I've always done my eyes last. Some people do like to do their eyeshadow first, just so that if they have any fallout, you know, if any of it falls, they can wipe it off and then do foundation. Again, personal preference, but I'll take a little bit of the Diamond Dust, which is the Mineral Veil Finishing Powder, and just whatever's on the lid, because I don't want too much of this. Whatever's on the lid, tap off the brush and just sweep that across your whole face very gently. This is like Photoshop for your face. This you can wear on its own without foundation, or you can wear it like how I'm applying it over your foundation and over your blush and your contour. And it's just beautiful. It photographs extremely beautifully. I don't know if you've ever had a situation, and this used to happen to me all the time in the past with my old makeup. My old makeup tended to look cakey. It tended to look thick and heavy, and it felt heavy. But when I looked in the mirror, I felt like it looked really nice. I loved it, you know, had a great look going on. And then someone would take a picture of me and I would be like, oh my God, I look so bad. And like my face would like not match the rest of my neck, my skin. This makeup doesn't do that. This makeup photographs so well. And if you put this mineral veil, it's just, I mean, it's the bomb. It's amazing.
Remember when I stood up to a wedding last year and she had a makeup artist and she did my makeup? On pictures, it looked fabulous, but in person, I was so embarrassed because I looked like it belonged in a coffin. It was so thick. It was so extremely thick. And I was so embarrassed to like talk to people because I never looked like that because I'm so used to this makeup, you know, and it was terrible. So now I'm like, I'm never getting a makeup artist use different makeup on me unless it's Savvy Minerals.
Because yeah, once you use Savvy, it's really hard to go back and use anything else. I mean, yeah. And you know, it's like, okay, let me put it to you this way. When Young Living launched the Savvy line, I was really excited, like immediately, like we were all excited. Everyone was screaming, everyone was losing their mind. And then in like about 60 seconds after the excitement, I was like, oh my God, I really hope that this makeup is good, because if this makeup is sucky, like it's just not going to be fun, because I love makeup and I've always loved makeup. I've always liked wearing makeup, and I've had my favorite things that I've had for years. And I was scared to try it, and I was scared that I wouldn't love it. And I thought, well, you know, we'll just have to see how it goes. And maybe if the makeup's not for me, then maybe I'll just keep on with my oils and my Ningxia, but I'll just have to keep using my old stuff. but this makeup has really blown me away. It surprised me like above and beyond my expectations. It really is beautiful. And I'm not just saying that because I love everything about Young Living. It really is beautiful, and it stays on a long time. It feels really light. You don't feel heavy. You don't feel, that's the first thing everybody says when I put the makeup on them is like, I don't feel like I'm wearing anything. And then they look in the mirror and they're just like, wow. And like, you can just see how surprised they are because they look so pretty and so polished, and it's like a natural pretty. It's not like a cakey pretty, like the wedding makeup, you know? So yeah, the makeup really is amazing. If you haven't tried it yet, you need to definitely try it. Get a couple girlfriends over, have people play with the makeup because people fall in love with it every time. Okay, I am going to show you now brows. Oh, here's my little brow brush. Okay, this is the way that I'm doing my brows, and I'm actually going to use this Sahara Sunset palette. There's a really nice brown in here.
Drift.
Right there, the drift.
It's called Drift. And yes. I use that too.
Yes, I really like that. Okay, so this is how I've been doing my brows lately. So first I brush down. If you don't have a little brush like this, I keep losing mine. I don't know, they keep breaking off. I keep losing them. You know what I did? I took a mascara wand from the last mascara that I went through and just washed it. And this is a perfect brow brush. And also it's really nice to get if you have any clumps, it gets them out. Okay, so I brushed my brows down, and I'm going to take the slanted brush that looks like this, and I'm just going to, dab it into the eyeshadow here, and I'm going to outline the top where I want the top of my brow to be. So
why do you brush it down?
Because I show you.
Sorry.
So you just go.
This is why Kate mutes us. Now I know why. People like me that has too many questions.
So I just like outline. The light. This light. Okay, so I just outline one little line of the top of where I want my eyebrow to be. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Ooh. Okay, you're just giving yourself a little outline there. Okay, and now after you're done with that, take your brush and go up and brush your brows up. And you're kind of blending in that line. Okay, you're going up. And now you're gonna take an outline just underneath your brow. Especially if your brows are thinner and you want them to be a little bit thicker, fuller looking, you're going to outline just under where your natural brow or where your current brow is.
So really, when you're outlining or when you're brushing it down, you can actually see where the brow really is. And the same thing with the bottom. When you brush it up, you actually see where it ends. So it's much easier, I believe. And Annette,
yeah,
I do not mute because you are asking too many questions. Questions are fun and they are needed. If you have a question, many people do. I mute everybody because sometimes there is so many noises in the background, we cannot hear. But you're welcome to unmute. I welcome that we unmute ourselves and we ask those questions. It's important.
I ask a lot of questions. You don't want me to.
Okay, and then I will take the brush and whatever's left over, I don't put any more product, and just kind of like play with those hairs. So they're kind of going upwards.
And kind of fill in, yes?
Yeah, so you're kind of filling in the gaps and you're kind of brushing the hairs upwards. So the look that's kind of in right now for brows is more of a natural looking brow. So it can look a little messier. It can look a little bit like there's little, stray hairs going up. And definitely like the upward brow is kind of in right now. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of my lavender lotion and just put that in to keep them in place, kind of like a gel.
That's a good idea.
I'm kind of just playing with those hair, like just kind of like brushing them in and kind of putting them into place. Okay, now I will use, let's see, which palette should I use? I will use this, the Natural Quartz palette. I really like that one. First, I'll take the blending eyeshadow blush and I'll go in with the lightest shade. And I do this with any eyeshadow palette that I'm using. I first go in with the lightest shade and I take that lightest shade and just sweep it across my entire lid. This is the base.
See, I like the concealer brush for that. That's what I always use.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's nice and big.
And I'll give you a tip
What,
too,
honey?
especially if you're using that concealer brush. When you're doing your eyeshadow, go like up like this with your eyeshadow so that you're always kind of creating this. Sometimes I'll put a little piece of tape here, especially if I'm doing like a really evening look and I want it to be like more bold. I'll put a piece of tape right here. And then when you peel the tape off, it gives you like a nice sharp eyeshadow line. But anyway, so as you're applying it, just keep in mind that you're always kind of brushing up, not pulling down. Okay, and then this is depending on what kind of eyes you have. Mine are more inset. So I like to put my dark color right here on this bone. I don't want to put any dark in here because that'll just make my eyes look more in. That'll create more shading. So I want to keep light colors here and put a dark color right here on the bone. If you don't have inset eyes like mine, if your eyes are more kind of just flat, your lid, then you'll put the dark color right in your crease. So what you'll do is take a different brush. I have this one. And I'll take the dark color, either the plum here or the nice brown. Sometimes I mix them both. Like I'll put my pencil in one and then I'll also tap it in the other and then use this middle section like as a blending section. And this is very, very easy, but it's gonna look like really, I don't know, complicated professional makeup, but it's not. Like, look, all I'm doing is I'm just drawing a rainbow from here to here with that dark color. And the trick to it, if you really want it to look like bold and nice, like a nice evening look, don't go all over the place with this. Keep it in one spot. So pick where you're going with it, whether it's your crease or just above your crease. And you're just gonna do this rainbow. You see? It's just one motion.
I go slightly above the crease as well, because I noticed that it just lifts up the eye.
Yeah. So, and if it looks scary, don't worry because we're gonna blend. So for now, you just wanna go, and the darker you go on this, the more evening you're gonna look, the more, you know, smoky you're gonna look. So if you just want more of a day look, you can just go very lightly with this motion. And if you want more of an evening look, you're gonna layer this on a couple of times, like how I'm doing. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to take the blush or the blending brush and I'm going to blend, but I'm not sweeping all over. I'm just sweeping right under my eyebrow. So I'm sweeping right under my eyebrow, and then I'm sweeping right on the eyelid here, because I want to blend this so it doesn't look so harsh, but I don't want to ruin like the look of it. So I don't want to just go like that, because that'll just mess it up. One other thing that's fun is, probably should have done my eyebrows last. I don't know why I did my eyebrows. I feel like I'm messing them up.
But you can touch it up. That's the beauty, that you can't really mess it up, because no matter what you don't perfect, you can actually go over it again and just fix it, which is next to impossible with any other makeup, because I've done makeup for so many years, and I use so many different brands. I noticed with this makeup, you can't really go wrong, because you messed it up, no problem. You just take that brush, you lighten it up, or you add a little bit of
yeah, if you ever feel like you make a mistake, take a brush, a blending brush, clean it off a little bit, and just blend. Just keep sweeping across until it starts to look better. One other thing that I like to do that's kind of fun is I'll take something that's shimmery, like either the Mineral Veil or something like from this palette, this new palette. It's got that fun shimmer color. And I'll put a little bit just right there under the eyebrow. And maybe a little bit like in the corners of my eye and down here to the lid. That's like a fun
there is
little
one
look.
in that Sahara as well. So it doesn't mean you have to have all 4 palettes. You can pick one and play with it. And normally I would use cooler tones. And so I was like really almost worried, like, how am I gonna do makeup with all those warm colors, shades? Well, all of them actually look good. Even the warm colors look really good on my face, both cold and warm. So this is really important, that you can actually get one and just see how it works for you. And it will work for you, because if it works for me, it will work for you. Chances are it will work for you too.
Yes. Okay, now if you like having a liner, we don't have any liquid eyeliners. So what you're gonna do is make your own. And the way that you make it is you just dip your brush into a little cup of water, a little shot glass of water. You can either use this brush, this tip brush, or this one. And then when you dip it into any of the colors, it'll create like a liquid liner. For me personally, because I don't really have a steady hand with my liners, I don't like to do a heavy, thick liner. What I like to do is just a very soft line on my eyelids. I'll take the brush actually that comes with the palette. There's a little brush here, and it's got a brush that looks like this. It's a little bit firmer tip. And I'll use one of these browns, just dip it in, and just go along my eyelashes. And this creates just a very soft liner. It's almost like barely there. But
I use the eyeliner, so the same one as I would use for my brows. So it really just one brush for both, and it works very well. But you know, that's a very good suggestion, using that little brush that the palettes come with.
Yeah, and I personally, I mean, I don't really even do liner hardly ever, but the only reason why I do like to add just a little bit something to the eyelash line is because if you don't, sometimes your mascara will touch to that eyelash line, you know, and then you have like those little mascara, like you have a little mark of mascara.
I use this one. It's from Young Living.
That's the eyeliner.
Same one.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
So if you are good with eyeliner, that's, you know, that's the one. And we do have a color called Jet Setter, which is the black. It's a jet black. And you can definitely make a really nice, even like a winged liner or like a cat eye. So
I would like to add something because I have long lashes and my biggest thing was always getting raccoon eyes from the mascara. And when I am using the dry makeup, I have no issues. When I'm using the liquid makeup, I do. So I am actually taking the concealer brush and I'm using the dry makeup and I'm just putting it up right underneath, like a little bit. And I noticed that once I do that, I never have problems. I never have runny mascara at all. So just a little bit, not much, and just right under the eye. And that sets it in.
okay, now for mascaras. Oh, can you hear me? Does
Yes.
the sound get weird? Okay.
No,
We have
we're
two
good.
mascaras. The gray one is the lengthening, the black one is the volumizing. You know, you almost have to try them both to see which one you love. Everybody seems to respond differently to these mascaras. I personally use them together because they both do work really well together. So this is how I use it. You know, you girls tell me how you do it. You probably have a way that works for you. For me, I like to take the gray one, which is the lengthening, and I go down my lashes and I'm literally like lengthening them. And then I take the other one and I go up. And this gives me the most volume and the darkest color. So then I take the volumizing one, the black one, and you really want to lift them up and make sure you cover each lash.
Well, I make sure that when I'm opening one up, that I am making sure there is nothing on that very end. So I'm putting that right back in. So there's nothing just on the end. That's the thing that I do. And I do love using both. I didn't bring the other one here, but I love them both and I just go to the top. I don't go down. How about you, Annette?
Yep.
I do what Agnes does.
Yeah.
I go down or up and then down and then up. And then I do the same thing. I start with the gray one and then I do the black one.
Yeah, so I don't always, like if I'm just doing like a quick 5-minute face, I'll just use my gray one and just go up, 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 you know, 1, 2, 3 and done. But if I really want like a nice darker eye, I'll really spend time on this. Like some people say that the mascaras don't give them the bold effect that they want. And I personally haven't found that to be true at all. These mascaras have been very bold for me. You can see them, like you can really see it. But I really spend time on this part if I want that bold look.
Well, you have to do layers. It might not be done with one application, but that's true also for other mascaras. So it's not just Young Living. What I love about Young Living mascara is the fact that it's more natural than anything you can find. There's no ingredients that I have to worry about. And Young Living actually banned 2,500 different ingredients from the makeup. So you can't really find anything that would be better for your skin. And I'm guilty.
Strong scent. A lot of mascaras would make me tear up.
Yes.
You know, I've had mascaras, like really expensive stuff. I was gifted one from Chanel that was really luxurious and expensive, and I couldn't use it because it had so much perfume that it just made my eyes water like crazy. Another issue with mascaras that I've always had is that they will clump up. These don't clump. They go on
Right.
really well. And again, like this is a good tip for you. Keep an old mascara brush. Don't throw these away. Keep these, wash them, because if you ever need to, look, you can brush through using a clean mascara brush. And that'll give you even a cleaner look if you, but this mascara, I mean, you don't even really need it because it doesn't clump up.
Right. But
But
also
if
you
did get
you
a
could
little
say
clump,
that for like a serum that you can make for your eyelashes, that's one. You can use it for your brows just like you do. I will add to that that if I feel that the mascara is drying out, I add a drop or two of lavender oil, and then I just do this a few times. I leave it, and it's freshened up again, and it has just enough color for my eyes.
yes. I've done the lavender and the mascara as well. That's a really good tip. Okay, now for lipsticks. So we have two types of lipsticks. You will notice in the catalog, there is a Savvy catalog, and it has all the colors in there. You can look it up. We have it linked in the group. We can link it again. These were the original lipsticks, the ones with the little window. The ones with the little window, and I will say the catalog, the online catalog, if you're looking color-wise and you don't know which color to pick, it's pretty decent. Like it's a pretty good representation of what the lipstick actually looks like when you get it. So go off of it. Don't be worried that the color is not going to look how it looks in the catalog. I would say they're pretty true to their color. But the ones that have the little window like this, they will have a little bit of a, like a pearl,
Shimmer kind of.
yeah, like a pearl, like a shimmery almost type of feel. These lipsticks, they're not exactly matte. They're still very creamy. They're very creamy, but they don't have that pearl color. Okay. And a lot of them tend to be darker. So mine all melted in the sun because I did a little boo-boo and I left them out in the sun and they melted, but they're still good. They're still good. They just lost their shape a little bit. But these, if you like a bolder lip, if you like something that's more like dark, bold, you're gonna like these. Okay. So this is how I do my lipstick. Obviously, everyone kind of does it, you know, you do it how you do it for you. But this is what I like to do, and this is how I get my lipstick to stay on the longest. I will take first a lipstick, and I'm just putting a very small amount. I'm not going thick. So I'm just letting like my lips like absorb this lipstick in, okay? The thinner the layer that you do, the longer it will stay on. So I just kind of, you know, tap it on, and you can use one of your brushes, like the one that Annette showed for the one that she uses for liner. This is also a lip liner brush. It's not just an eyeliner brush. And don't be afraid to overline a little bit to give yourself a fuller lip. You can just go just a touch above your actual line. Okay. And so I'm just, again, I'm going just very little with this. And then I'm going to blot. I don't have a tissue, but I'll use a tissue or my hand. And I'm going to blot off some of the lipstick. And then I'm going to go in again with, again, a very thin layer. Just barely touching my lips. Okay, and then I'm going to, again, blot. And now I'm going to go in with my favorite lip gloss. And the lip glosses are amazing. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with them. I love the colors, but I love the texture. They're creamy. They're not sticky. They have a little peppermint in them. They are just, I love them. I love them a lot. And I don't know if I have my favorite one here because I think, oh no, here it is. So my favorite one that I love, I believe it's called Abundant. can't really see. I can't see, but I think it's called Abundant, but it's like this pink. Yeah, that one I love too. That one, what's that one called?
Embrace, I think.
Embrace. I do love Embrace and I love Abundant, but we also have some darker lip glosses. Okay, I think
I also like this one, which is a see-through, which is great for girls if they want to.
Yeah.
Girls usually, little girls love the color, and because there is no harsh chemicals in, it's just so good to let them use it.
Yeah, so then I'll go in with my lip gloss. So I don't like the look of a very heavy lipstick. If you like your lipstick heavier, then you're just gonna go another layer with lipstick. For me, I just do my final layer with the gloss. And then I'll throw the gloss in my purse so I have it when I go. But to tell you, my real favorite thing on my lips, it's actually not even any of the lipsticks or the glosses. It's my
Is this
lavender
acting
lip balm.
up now? Is the Zoom acting up?
Oh, can you not hear me?
I can hear you, but do you see like the picture being weird?
No.
Okay.
So this lavender lip balm actually is my favorite thing to put on my lips. It actually, I just feel like it magnifies just my natural color of my lips and gives me a little bit of a sheen. And I like it the best. I really do. I love it the best. So a lot of times I'll do my full eyes, my full cheeks, my full everything, and then just lavender lip balm, no lipstick. But anyway.
I like that lavender lip balm for putting under the eyes in case I need a little bit of moisturizing.
Oh, for like at night, or when do you do it?
Anytime. If I feel that I need a little bit of moisturizing, I'm gonna put that right under my eyes.
Okay. Yeah, lately I've been putting the Animal Sense ointment under my eyes at night for like a night cream, like a night, almost like a mask, just under my eyes and here around the forehead. I also do love, and recently I have started doing this, which I've always wanted to be like the kind of lady that does this kind of thing, but I never did. But I'm starting to like just really prioritize and self-care and all this. So what I have started to do is when I have like a lunch or a party, or I know I'm going to go somewhere, or I have an event or a meeting, and I know I'm going to be seeing other ladies, what I will do is I'll take the time to give myself the facial mask in the morning, the orchid one. It's from Art. It's the paper mask, the white one. And I'll put that on and I lay there for 20 minutes, and then I'll really do my routine and really do my scrub and my toner and cleanser and da 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 da. And I do the whole thing, and it's like self-care, and it's so nice. And then when you show up to your event, you look fresh, you look good, you look rested. So definitely take the time out to do that for yourself. Like, I know as women, we're always running around. We have 50,000 things that we're trying to take care of, and we take care of everything and everyone. And then we just run out the door last 10 minutes, quickly applying some kind of makeup, and we're out the door. Really start to get into a habit of putting a little bit of time aside for your self-care. Do your facial, do your routine, make yourself look gorgeous. So when you walk into the room at the event, everybody takes notice and they ask you like, wow, what have you done with your face? You're glowing. What are you doing? And that's a great conversation starter. And you start talking about Savvy, and you start talking about oils and all of the things that we do. So even though we think that we don't have time, you know, I say, if you have time to check your phone, if you have time to see what's going on Facebook or Instagram, you have time to do a little self-care. It's just 20 to 30 minutes. That's it. But it's very, very important. That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you so much. And I will second that. We do have the time. We can actually create the time. And for those of you who have been using makeup, it really does not make any difference which makeup you use, you still have to put the time. However, using Savvy, you are sure you are having harsh chemical-free makeup, and this is the most important thing. And I will admit that I'm guilty of not washing my makeup up at night sometimes, and I don't feel the guilt because I know there's nothing there that I absolutely have to wash off before I go to bed, so it's not sticking to my face. We are used to taking it off just because of all the ingredients in, which we don't have to worry about. So that's the reason I really love the makeup. It looks amazing. You look amazing. Annette didn't show us the ending result, but for all of us watching, we can actually see. There you go. Here you are. I'm trying to take a picture of you here. And you know, it looks amazing. It just looks amazing. It looks really good. For those of you watching, you can see the before and after, and you definitely will see the difference. And when you do your own makeup, you will notice the difference. You will notice how your face lifts up, and you've done the same routine like with any makeup. This one, it's so much better and so worth it. And you are worth to feel better, to look better, and live finally guilt-free, because we have so much guilt through different sources and different reasons. This is guilt-free makeup. Agnes, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this for us. Just a reminder, we have those once a week. And if you, not necessarily makeup, but different trainings and whatever topic you would like to hear about, you're welcome to let us know, and we are always gonna do that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. This was fun.
Thank you, Agnes.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Monica.